Welcome to the AI Writers Guild. We are in Module 1, Intro to AI and Novel Writing. And we'll be doing Lesson 1 today, Understanding AI in the Context of Novel Writing. All right, it's going to be a fun year. Welcome, first of all. We have a whole course set up for this entire school year. We're going to do some amazing things together. This is better than any English class you will ever take. It is going to be asynchronous, and that means the videos will be bumped out there every Sunday night, but you can watch them anytime you want during the week. They will drop weekly for 30 weeks. I have a calendar that my Alabama group is going to be following. So on the weeks that we meet in Alabama, and you will have a copy of that calendar, that Sunday night before every week we go to campus on Tuesday, that's when the videos are going to be dropping. So you can follow that calendar if you want to, if anything happens with Mother Nature in Huntsville, Alabama, which is where I'm at. The calendar will be adjusted accordingly. So you will get things dropping according to that calendar. Take a look at it. And tech tools. We are going to learn so many tech tools this year. I'm so excited. It is not your ordinary English writing class. It's going to be super, super fun. And in the end, our output is not grades, but it is self-published novels. You're welcome to write one and not self-publish it, but I'm going to give you the tools so that if you want to, you can do that. So, AI Writers Guild, what is the roadmap and where are we going? So, we have about 6 sections to the class. In the beginning, the very beginning, we'll be talking about conceptualization, intro to AI and novel writing. In Module 1, there's about 4 lessons to each of these sections. In the next module, we'll be talking about characters, and in the third module, world building, and then plot and story structure in Module 4. And then we'll be looking at your manuscript, which is what we call it when you have a book in Microsoft Word that is between 10 and 40,000 words, and you'll write it and edit your manuscript in Modules 5 and 6. And then we'll publish, or you will be taught to publish. So you don't have to publish, you're still young, but if you wanted to, you would have the tools to be able to do that at the end of this course. All right, what are the materials that you'll need? So you'll need a computer with internet access. If you're here right now today watching this, then you have that. You'll need Microsoft Word and OneNote accounts. You can get that from me. We're Log Cabin Schoolhouse. If you don't have it already, send an email to jennifer@logcabinschoolhouse.com and we'll get you set up. If you paid for this course, you get that for free from us. So make sure that you get that so that you have all the tools that you need to do this class successfully. We will also need AI writing tools. We'll be using ChatGPT, something else called Novelcraft that I think you're really going to like, and possibly we'll dabble in some other things. So we'll see as we go along. And then you're going to learn about the social tool, Microsoft Viva Engage. Every week I will give you a prompt suggestion for what to go out into Viva Engage in your Microsoft environment, which I will teach you how to use. Nobody probably knows how to use it yet. And you'll be able to talk with the kids from all over the country who are taking this course. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, what are the objectives? Students will understand these 4 things: the basics of artificial intelligence, its brief history, and how it applies to novel writing. And the lesson here will also introduce ChatGPT, Microsoft OneNote, and Viva Engage as tools for writing and organizing your ideas. So let's go and find out what all this stuff is. So first of all, what is artificial intelligence? And when you learn any new word, I always like to think about it as breaking down what you're looking at. So I'm seeing 2 words here, artificial and intelligence. And I know intelligence means being smart, and I know artificial is kind of like a way of saying fake. But we can also, in this case, look at it as being not human. So the definition is a branch of computer science dealing with the simulation of intelligent behavior in computers. So in this case, the word artificial means computers and not human. So give me some examples. Did anyone ever play Pac-Man? So Back when we were all playing Pac-Man in the 80s, there was this one ghost who kind of did his own thing. Nobody could really expect what was going to happen with that ghost. So if you were going to have some logic to the game of Pac-Man, you couldn't with this one ghost. And the reason why this ghost did its own thing was because it was trained with artificial intelligence to do its own thing. So artificial intelligence has been around a really long time. Spell check. Did you know that there are about 70-some phonics in the English language? So what you can do is program using code, a computer, all of those phonics sounds, and you can teach it to spell check based on the sounds. That's also how they get read aloud programs to work, is by training it on the phonics. So it's literally just giving it lists of things to be smart so that the computer can be smart. Google is a form of artificial intelligence. You put words into Google and it chugs it around and does something with it intelligently, and then artificially the computer gives you its thoughts. So it's been around a really long time because we've been using Google at least most of my adult life. reCAPTCHA. If you ever had a computer ask you to prove you're human, reCAPTCHA, that's what it is. But they had to program the computer to find out if you were human. So that is artificial intelligence. And ChatGPT. So in this day and age, we like to talk about ChatGPT synonymously with AI, like it is AI. And that is not true. It is a piece or a part or a subcategory of AI, but it does not equal AI. So we're kind of going to have to learn that as we go, because society is making us think that it is. ChatGPT is equal to AI, and it's not. It is a part, a subcategory. So some other things. Machine learning, a subset of AI that allows systems to learn and improve from experience. So if I type something into a machine and it knew something before I typed it in, but when my information goes into it and changes what the computer now knows and grows its area of knowledge or expertise, that is considered machine learning. Basically, it's what the two words are saying. The machine is learning as it goes. That's kind of a new thing with the new layers of AI that are coming out today that are different from the past. I don't believe that the Pac-Man ghost could learn. Natural language processing, or NLP, AI technology used to understand and generate human language. So ChatGPT generates words, right? The ghost was not a word, it was a thing. So natural language processing is when they take words, chug them, and they generate human language or more words. So think of ChatGPT as natural language processing. Define AI, and is it relevant today? Well, what about Alexa? Alexa definitely uses AI. Recommendations. Alexa is sitting next to me on my desk, and she's talking to me right now, so let's give her a second. Okay, she's done. Recommendations on Netflix. So if I watch Netflix for a couple weeks, I will find that my recommendations start to change. You'll find that too. So start paying attention to it and see what kind of things it's recommending for you, and think about why and how is it doing that. I know that my husband's and my children's recommendations on Netflix are different from mine, and we're all as a family very careful which person we log in as before we watch something at night, so that we continue to program it the way we want to, so that we get our own recommendations if that's our goal. So recommendations on Netflix are driven by artificial intelligence. Google. So Google is a little bit more one-way conversation. I put something in, I get something out, and there's only one way of discussion, one time back and forth. ChatGPT, I can go in circles with. So I put something in, it gives me something out. I say, hey, I like what you just did, and it gives me something different. I said, well, maybe I want you to add a little bit of this spice to it, and it'll turn out something totally different. So ChatGPT is back and forth conversation. I want you to think of Google now as one-way dialogue. Just spit something out, and that's that. You can't say anything about the results that you got and ask for it to, hone it better. Self-driving cars. They are definitely artificial intelligence, right? Your car can see the lines on the road and it knows whether or not it's going to run off the road. Hopefully 100% of the time. I guess the question is, what percent of accuracy are we at today with self-driving cars? And what percent do you need it to be at before you would get in one? Medical diagnoses, machines analyzing x-rays. We can now put pictures into ChatGPT. So it can look at things and make decisions based on it. So imagine if you had the smartest doctor in the world. You'd be pretty glad if you had cancer, that you had the smartest doctor in the world. But what if computers, which are they're getting to the point where they're more intelligent than us with this whole AI thing. Would you want the most intelligent doctor or the most intelligent doctor who uses AI? That is a really good question. So that's going to be something that we go into our future trying to discuss and decide. Apps solving math problems. If you haven't tried it yet, there's a great AI tool called Khanmigo, and it's with Khan Academy. So Sal Khan from Khan Academy is trying to develop a tool that anybody could go to and chat with about math, and it's getting pretty good. So apps that solve math problems are becoming really amazing. And that is AI. AI filters out inappropriate content on social media. I think that's totally relevant today. That's what we want it to be doing, right? We don't want junk to come across our screens. So it's really great and relevant that we can do that with computers today. So AI is super relevant in the world that we live in. If you utilize any of these things, and I know in my family we use Alexa, Netflix, I use Google, we don't have a totally self-driving car, but we have one that does have some features in it. So we have that. Medical diagnoses, I really don't know if my doctors are doing those, but they might be. And apps solving math problems, I'm a math teacher, so I totally use that. And we all have filters on our computers. It's just the smart thing to do. So in my world, we use all of these things. So AI is super relevant in my world. All right, so this is a really cool video that is an explanation for how can you utilize AI. So one of the ways that you can utilize AI today is to make videos. And what they do is you get a prompt by ChatGPT. You tell it what you want it, like tell me the history of AI, and it'll generate you a transcript. You can put it into a tool called 11 Labs, and it will generate a voice. You can make yourself a girl voice or a boy voice or whatever you want to do, and it will read it to you. It is so cool. And you record it, and then you take that and maybe paragraph at a time to something like Midjourney for pictures. And that's what I think this video uses. I'm going to play it for just a minute, and then I have it in the materials for you to watch the whole thing. I would watch the whole thing this week as one of your assignments. I think you'll really like it, so it won't feel like homework. But just think about all the tools that might have gone into the making of this really, really neat AI video on the history of artificial intelligence. All right, so watch the rest of this. as homework this week. I think you're really going to like it, but you'll see that somebody probably made a transcript on ChatGPT that generated all the words that told the whole history of this. Somebody may not have even written this themselves, but it sounds really great. And then the voice may be this guy's voice, but it could be something like 11 Labs. This is a little bit older of a video, so I don't know if 11 Labs was out then. I know it's a little bit more relevant right now than it was a year ago, but the pictures here, I'm pretty sure they say at the end, were created by Midjourney. You're going to be using DALL-E, so the pictures that you'll be getting will be a little different, and you can ask it for different genres or styles of pictures, so you'll see and kind of think about what did they ask for in the kind of pictures they were getting. Like a lot of times I'll ask for comic cartoon style pictures. This is not comic cartoon. Like, what would this be called? So you have to learn how to talk to AI to get out what you want from it. So your output is only as good as your input. All right. What is a novel? So a novel is a long fictional narrative. Very simple. It's long. It's a long book, right? It's fictional. So if I'm talking about writing specifically a novel, I'm usually talking about fiction. I personally would be talking to you about nonfiction as well, because that's what I enjoy writing. And you can use a lot of these processes to do nonfiction as well. So I will be doing nonfiction, but the definition of a novel typically is fiction and narrative. So words, lots and lots of words. So these are kind of the parts that we'll be looking at in a novel. We'll be learning about the structure and the plot development. We'll be learning about character development and what kinds of characters are going to be in a novel. Protagonist, antagonist, who else? Sidekick. We'll be talking about themes and message. What do you want to get across? Do you want to teach something? Do you want to encourage people to behave in a loving way? What do you want to do with theme and message? Setting and world building. I have some super cool tools to show you on world building that you're going to get really excited about. But that's one big part, setting and world building, and how do you create that? Harry Potter had the most amazing visual. When you read the book, you could almost see it. It was so easy for them, I'm sure, to make the movies because the author did such a great job creating the worlds with their words. Voice and style, and revision and editing. So these are all the things that are going to be in this class because we will be writing a novel, and they're all very important in writing one. What are the tools that we'll be using? So I wanted to kind of give you a picture of the process that you'll be going through. And the tools are a great way. If I lay out the process of going from this tool to that tool, it really does show you where you're going. So I want you to think about starting up here with plotting your novel. This is the beginning of your process. You're going to start with OneNote. This is the picture or the icon for OneNote in Microsoft that you'll be playing with, and this is what it looks like when you're inside of it. And so we'll have all these categories that you'll be brainstorming, characters and setting and whatever. We'll be breaking this up that way. This was a book that I had started. I'm working on it still. And then you're going to have all these assistants. Think of them as assistants. They're people, robots, that are going to help you write your story. So you're going to have ChatGPT. You might even have a regular notebook, and that's okay too. So go ahead and find a beautiful one with a great, beautiful cover and keep it along for the ride. And then DALL-E, I put DALL-E 3 here, but I'm not sure which one is the free version at this point. I just looked it up and found out that ChatGPT 3.5 is still the free version, and I believe 4.0 is the one that has DALL-E 3. So we may have to figure out what's the best way to get free images today, and you may only get 15 a day or something like that. So you'll just have to portion it out if you're going to do the free version. If you want to figure out, your parents want to help you get the paid version, just send me an email, jennifer@loghamschoolhouse.com. But everything in this class, I'm going to try and direct you to free resources. All right. And then after you use your assistant and you plot your novel, you'll be writing it in Microsoft Word. And this is what that icon looks like when you're in your Microsoft products. And after we're all done writing our novels, we are going to be publishing it in Amazon KDP or Learning How. I did mention over here that we have Microsoft Viva Engage to chat with your fellow novelists, and that will be along this entire process. All right, so for your first week, here is your homework. You will, if you haven't already, order Word Wizards. It's the book that we'll be going along with, and it is a really great showcase of what your book will look like when you're done. So we're going to break it apart and really talk about what are all the sections and important features in a book when you publish it, to include things like preface, independent, all the different parts at the beginning of the book. So your title page, what should be your cover art, all the details. So you're not just writing the words, but you're packaging up an idea into a book. And so how do you do that with all the details? This week, I want you to write your one prompt novel. If you go up into the materials, you'll find the assignment really written out and spelled out well. So go ahead and take a peek at that, and then get logged into. The most important thing is just getting logged into these programs. Don't worry about being excellent or knowing what to do with them. Just I want you to have logged in this week. Microsoft OneNote, Microsoft Viva, Engage, and ChatGPT. Just those three things. Get into them. Check them out. Click around in it, but don't worry about being excellent at it just yet. But just having been in it will be helpful for next week's work. And then post an introduction and what you hope to get out of this course in Viva Engage. So I will have a post out there that you can go and answer to, or you could create your own, however you want to do it. Go ahead and do that. All right. So now we're going to do something really quick in ChatGPT. All right, so for this part, in every lesson, I will have at some point a ChatGPT prompt that I'm showing you or telling you some ideas on prompting. And so that's what I'm doing here. I just have 10 sample prompts, and there are 10 more sample prompts in the teacher's guide that I have up in the materials as well. You're welcome to go take a look at those and play with those this week and just start getting used to the things that ChatGPT will tell you. So let's see what we did here. I grabbed this first one. It says, write a brief story that combines elements of fantasy and science fiction. Set it in a world where magic and technology coexist. And it gave me this much writing. So I want you to think about how much writing you want to get. And maybe I don't want to read all of this because I'm really just trying to get used to prompting. So let's tell it, tell me this in one paragraph. Let's see now. Now I'm not going to have to read this whole thing, but I'm going to learn something still about genre exploration. In the techno-magical city of Silvertech, Zara, a sorceress with storm magic, and Elon, a cyborg, venture into the forbidden ancient sector to harness the mythical arcane core, intending to revolutionize the coexistence of magic and technology. Ooh, that was a really long sentence, you guys. Their perilous journey through a landscape of spell-laden traps and technological defenses leads them to successful integration magical energy into the city's power grid using a special device. So this is really telling me a lot about, what did I ask? I wanted a brief story. So that's why it gave me multiple paragraphs. I specifically asked for a story. So that's what it's going to give you. If you just want a paragraph, you have to specifically remember you're talking to a computer, tell it exactly what you want out of it. And the story will combine elements of fantasy and science fiction. So I'd read through this and find that that's what it's doing, this genre. Set it in a world where magic and technology coexist. It did that really well. One other thing I wanted to show you guys is all these buttons down here. I can make it read aloud to me. It doesn't look like my computer was picking that up. But you can hit this button and it will read aloud. I can copy the whole thing and then paste it into maybe my OneNote. Maybe I want to copy all of that into my OneNote. And I can regenerate it. If I'm like, I don't really like Silvertech and I don't like the Zara character. Let's see if I hit regenerate. Will it? Okay, no, it just retold the story into a different paragraph. But I still have Silvertech and I still have Zara. But what I might want to do is go in and if I didn't want those, I could say, can you change the location? Can you change the setting? Can you change the characters? I could do that if I wanted to. And I could decide it's a bad response. Maybe it didn't give me the right thing at all. So we're still helping them to proofread ChatGPT. You're welcome to hit that button when you get something you don't like. And right here, I can change model. So I use 4.0. It says it's best for complex tasks. So every now and then I'll show you what happens inside there, but that is the paid version. I don't want you guys to feel like you have to use it, but it will give you can read through this later if you want to. It will give you different responses, and it might be faster or slower. And some of them provide images and some of them do not, some of the versions of ChatGPT. So that's kind of that. And then you can open this sidebar here, and it will give you all the different things that your recent search history. I can share it. Maybe I want to share a whole thing with my mom, and I send it to her, and she can read out the conversation I had with ChatGPT. I could rename it if I want to make sure it stays at the top. Maybe it's the one I use to brainstorm my novel. Maybe I have one for characters, one for plot. You could do that if you want to, but think about how you want to name these, and they will add. See, it says today. So if I used one today, and then tomorrow it will show up down here, but if I use it again, it will of course pop up to the today stream. So that's good. And I can close that so we can just focus on our task. Let's look at character development prompting. What does that look like? So I copy and paste it in here. And it says, create a detailed description of a main character who is a young detective with a unique ability. Include their background, personality traits, and significant challenge they face. All right. Well, already I can see that this is different than last year. It broke it up really nicely into sections. I don't remember it doing that last year. So ChatGPT is getting so smart so fast. Name, Miles Donovan. Background, he grew up in a bustling urban sprawl of Neo-Phoenix, a city known for its shimmering neon lights and shadowy corners. So it's going to tell you all about the background of Miles. It's going to give you his personality traits. And if I don't like them, I can be like, I kind of want his personality traits to be a little bit more unique. Can you help me out with that? And then significant challenges. And I believe this was something to do personality traits and significant challenges. Yeah, I thought it was going to be about technology. Okay, so I could do character. I could do world building prompts. Let's see. I love doing the world building prompts with ChatGPT. Watch this. So describe a fictional city where the story is set. Include details about the city's layout, culture, key landmarks, and any unique aspects that make it different from a typical city. So we have Neo-Phoenix. We have the city layout. It's going to describe Neo-Phoenix is designed like a wheel with spokes. So that's cool. I might say, and I am using, let's see, am I back in Turbo? Good, I'm back in 4. Let's see if we can do pictures in 4. If I take this, Neo-Phoenix designed with spokes, copy, paste. Let's see if we can get it to make us an image. So I'm going to say generate an image of this city. And it's going to think for just a second. It's usually pretty quick. And so 4 has the graphics. You guys may be using 3.5 with the free version, so I'm not sure. But how cool is this? I think it looks like the city is the wheel, or does it look like they put the wheel around the city? I don't know. But you could play around with this and try and get it to make you graphics that go with your book as well. So this week, there's a whole bunch of prompts in your teacher's guide that's attached in the materials section. You're welcome to play around with them. You can also type these in, pause this right here, open up a ChatGPT browser, and start typing them in and see what you can get out of ChatGPT. We will play with this every single week in a similar way, but enjoy it on your own the other 4 days of the week, and I will see you guys in lesson 2.